So it's time for a little bit of a coffee chat, but you don't want to see my ugly mutt all the time. So I'm going to put myself into one corner of the screen and you can just see a bar and restaurant here in Siem Reap, Cambodia called Red Piano. Why is it famous? Because I do believe Angelina Jolie went there when she was making the movie Tomb Raider, which was just filmed up the road from here. A warm welcome to the channel. Now, this channel, we talk about so many things. We talk about China, we talk about the Three Gorges Dam, my pussycats, my life in Cambodia, and my trips to certain places around the world, well, basically Thailand and the United Kingdom. And why do I choose, or why did I decide Cambodia? Now, I have been living in Asia ever since 1993. October 1993 was I first came here. The main reason is not to travel or anything, basically was to work. I was offered some work here and I was working in the Middle East, and then it was like if you wanted to come to Asia, you had to work in the Middle East for at least 2 years because it gave you the understanding of, starting to understand Asia. And off I hopped and I arrived in Bangkok, and a little bit later I did actually go back to Dubai for 3 months and then came back again, and then 2 months after that I was working in China. Excuse me, it is coffee chat, so allow coffee. And Asia has been good for me. I know most of the people who watch this channel are about 65 or 55 plus, and again, a warm welcome. But if there's anyone who is considering to maybe retire here, then I've got lots of videos here on why I choose Cambodia and not Thailand. The main possible reason is the visa. I just go to a travel agent here and I extend my original visa. Is called an ER here, and I will pay for the express. Is about $375. Well, it was last year, and in about 10 days time there it is, another visa. You can't work. This is a retirement visa. YouTube is a hobby to me. I just enjoy making videos, and this is sort of like my, you could say, just my pastime, where I'm happy to share some of my experiences around Asia. And when I do go on vacation to meet my friends in Thailand, or when I had to go to England last year, I would like to share this on my camera. It's not in a professional way, sometimes I do, but it's a way that you can have a little rant and a rave. You complain about Xi Jinping or certain things. So it's not that I'm intelligent any way, shape or form. It's just that I've been here for such a long time, living, working and enjoying, that I find England strange, so to speak. So why do I choose here? It's quite a long story, but I've been to most places in Asia, mainly for work. So Japan, Korea, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, the Philippines, and some of the smaller islands as well. Even in places like India, been there, Bangladesh, haven't worked, but been there actually for a party, but that's another long story, years and years ago, when I didn't have a double chin and I didn't have a receding hairline or putting on a few extra pounds. And I sort of retired when I was about 44. I made quite some, when I did have the money when I was in my late 20s and sort of early 30s, I did do some investments, and the dividends just give me an income. Now, near enough, take away Singapore, take away Korea, take away Japan, even take away Taiwan, you can quite easily live on 2,000. I was actually trying to work out, literally, before I made this video, can you do it any cheaper? And the answer is yes. Here, for example, let's say your rent is $250 for a small flat. It's not going to be in the city centre, not anymore anyhow, but you could say the surrounding areas, then 250, 300 you can. Let's say your electric, worst scenario for a 1-bedroom flat or studio, and you have the air conditioning on the majority of the time, maybe 100 plus. If you rent, your electricity is 25 cents per unit. If you own or a house, you can get it down to 20 cents, which is like the government rate. It's close to that. And if you have it on like me 24/7, then you're saving a little bit of money. If you are going to buy air conditioning, look for a dual inverter, a LG. You're going to save a packet with that. Electricity in Cambodia is expensive. Then you have your water. Sometimes it'll be a flat rate between $5 to $15, or you pay per cubic meter, I do believe, and it's relatively cheap for one person there. You don't need to have a kitchen, but it's advisable to have, let's say, a small cooker, a refrigerator, fridge, freezer. And if you live near restaurants, hey, you can live quite comfortably with 3 meals a day, for about $10. So that's 70 per week, that's 300 per month on eating. So now we're up to about $700. That gives you $300 to spend on entertainment. Now, if you live in an apartment, usually you get the Wi-Fi free, usually you get a TV, everything is there for you. It has regular TV, so you have a lot of entertainment at home for you. You just need to have some kind of computer or an iPad that you would normally bring if you are sort of like packing up your bags. You don't really need to bring anything else, so don't pack up your house and then ship everything over here. Everything's going to be provided. What you're going to do with your property in America or England, for example, some people put it in storage, some people sell their house, whatever the case. I would sort of wait a while until you're 100% sure that you want to live here for the rest of your life. I don't have any assets in the United Kingdom, zero, zilch. I've lived here longer than I've actually lived in the UK as a youngster. So these are all worth considering. So for $1,000, then you've got like $300 left. You've got to save up money for your visa. Your visa, let's say it's $1 a day, then that's 30. You got to have health insurance. There's so many different health insurances. You've just got to find it by yourself. You can get it locally. Go to the hospital. There are hospitals here, pretty good hospitals. So don't worry too much about that before you do the final commitment and sell up in the America. But you can go and check them out, and you can ask about insurances. You can possibly get it related to your health, of course, maybe like $100 per month. So now we're up to 830 without beer. Now, beer here is incredibly cheap. Even if you go to the tourist area, you can get a draft beer for $1. You can get it even cheaper than that if you know where to go. But if you buy bottles of it, it is actually quite cheap. So you can actually do it for $1,000. But you're going to be quite tight with your money. But you can have a relatively good time with that. You just have to budget a lot. It means you can't travel to other places while you're in Southeast Asia. And so I always say, and the majority of people say, if you want to live in Southeast Asia, in like Thailand or here or Vietnam, you're looking at 2,000. 2,000 is that comfort figure. That means you have that money in case of some kind of emergency. But you can, by yourself, you can do it for $1,000. But for me personally, I would say it's not very comfortable. The one person did actually write about the humidity. It is hot, Now is the February something or the other, 22nd, 23rd. It's the beginning of summertime here, so it's going to get even hotter. Your electricity bill is going to be worse because you're going to be pumping out more cool air into your rooms. With that in mind, you may want to go to cooler places, like you want to go to Japan, for example. But Japan, Tokyo is sort of expensive. You want to go to Chiang Mai. That's more feasible. It's going to be cooler because it's up in the mountains if you can't stand the humidity. For myself, I've sort of got used to it. Again, I find going to the United Kingdom quite weird in that respect. And but I do sit on the balcony and I think of England now in February, and it's cold, it's wet, it's just sort of ending the winter, beginning of spring, and grey clouds. When I was in England, I was actually surprised in November that they had blue clouds, but still for me bitterly cold. If the heat doesn't bother you, if you live in Miami, for example, I would say in the summer you would understand what it's like. If you've been to the Caribbean, you know what it's like. The weather is sort of like shorts, t-shirts, vests, and slippers. And another expense would be your motorbike. Now, in this city, yeah, I would highly advise getting a motorbike, but just a small bike if you've never driven or ridden a motorbike before. A step-up automatic one you can get. You can buy them second-hand. You can buy quite a nice one for, let's say, maybe 2,000 to 3,000 at the original showroom of Honda, or you can go to many second-hand things. But if you understand motorbikes, then fine. If you're not, then buy it new, but you don't need it straight away. Now, if you're close to everything, you don't need it, and it will sit in the driveway doing nothing. But if you're further afield, maybe you want to rent a house, which is a bit cheaper, you need a bike. Public transportation, well, there are the motorbike taxis, there are tuk-tuks, there are passaps. You can get them easily to the airport. The actual journey is quite expensive, but you can get a pass-up journey for about $18. Is there anything else that people have asked? They always ask about health insurance. This is something that you've got to go and explore by yourself. Yeah, there are many insurance companies here. Some people would say this one's good and this one's bad, or this one's good and this one's bad. You make that decision for you, but you can go to quite a few hospitals here and ask. Now, if it's sort of something like minor, now I went to the Cambodian Khmer hospital for a rash, and there was a doctor there. They all spoke English. It was very polite, and you pay per go. The doctor's fee was something like $10, and the medicine was something like $6. So the whole trip cost $16. If you're retired, hey, it's no problem. And with that, if I compare it to Thailand, I really like Thailand, but it's just more expensive with that. The visas are just tricky, not easy to do. If you've got lots of money, hey, it's really easy. But if you're on sort of like a small retirement pension, for example, then there's many videos that you can follow related to retiring in Thailand. But my choice, if you just want it easy, then Cambodia is great for that for now. But don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your money into a bank here. Make sure you have some offshore or some private banking, or your family live in your house, whatever it is, that you do have some assets overseas. I do, lots of people do. That's the backup plan for the worst situation. There was one guy who was asking me about the what happened before with the war in Cambodia. People have got over it. It's a horrible thing which happened. Millions of people unfortunately died with it, and people have just moved forward from that situation. And it's this is maybe how you could say Cambodian people are very strong. Something awful happened. Some don't want to talk about it, and they just have moved forward, and they may have had to, like you possibly may have had to in America, for example, start from absolute zero and start again. But you don't want to do it when you get into your retirement age. Retirement age here for the visa is 55. You can do it earlier, but you need to show bank statements, etc., and maybe something, a official document from your embassy saying that you are retired, etc. It's not difficult to do. It's just sort of like annoying to do, but these are the requirements. In Thailand, it's 50, and you've got to show money in the bank, or you have 2,000 US coming in per month, etc. I highly recommend do exactly what I do. Go to a agent, a visa specialist, and they will do all the work for you. They are expensive, yeah, granted, but it saves you the red tape, and they do this for a living. So they need to make an income for it. So if you don't want to sit around in immigration all day for a long time doing it. The other thing in Thailand, I do believe that you have to go to the police to register every 3 weeks, regardless of where you are in the country. Here, there's no need. And here, it's a multiple entry. So this year, I've been to Thailand to visit some friends, and last year, God, I don't know how many times I went to Thailand. I think it's 3 or 4 times. It's just so convenient to hop over the border. And some things here are like really expensive. So if you're thinking about a brand new car, double the price. The tax is crazy. But a motorbike, if you want a brand new one, like my motorbike that I drive quite often, is, how much they cost? 4,900. It is expensive compared to other, in let's say the Philippines, where I think it's something like 3,000 plus over that. So either you can rent one or you can buy one. I bought because no one rents that, and I prefer my own things rather than you just borrow this thing and pay people money for that. But that's my personal choice. You can get some Italian bikes here that are made in China, which cost to buy 1,600. In fact, my girlfriend has one, and she's had it now for 2 years, and she gets it serviced, or she puts the oil in. That costs like $9 per 1,000 kilometers, and they do the free service there, but it still works. My one is Honda. The oil change is $5 per 1,000 kilometers, $5.50. The oil change, the gear oil change is $2.50. It's got a warranty for 2 years, and when it gets to 8,000 kilometers, I will get it serviced, and that service will be free, apart from any things that need to be added, like the oil and maybe some hydraulic fluid or brake fluid, whatever, for the brakes. You know what I'm saying? So you have all that there. It is hot. It does have hospitals. It does have shopping. It does have cheap beer. So if you're a single guy or single woman, it's quite a safe city, where in the tourist area, most people would speak some kind of English. There is Starbucks. There's no McDonald's. There's a Burger King. There's a KFC. But there's hundreds of different restaurants, and it's all at a good price. So your $2,000 compared to the United States really does go a long way. How much would it cost you to retire in America now? Let's say you have your own house, and then you would have a car, for example, but all these additional expenses. Now, if you do smoke here, then you're looking at, for a carton of 200 sticks, you can get Winston for $8, even cheaper than that. You can get L&M. Marlboro seems to be more expensive, like $14 or $15, but compared to England, where this would cost you somewhere like 80 or 90 pounds for it, something ridiculously high, then you're just not going to quit smoking with that. There are good things, there are bad things, but I would say there are more good things if you retire here in Cambodia, Siem Reap. I personally wouldn't retire in Phnom Penh. There's more entertainment, there's more nightlife, but it is a big hustle and bustle city. Siem Reap has some charm. People come here for a holiday, and they come here for the holiday for a reason. Very rarely there's going to be heavy traffic, so you can get to A to B without any kind of traffic jam. There are some, it's not always perfect. There are some when it's a holiday time, like the New Year, or some special Cambodian events. So if you do have any questions, message me and on the comments below, and I will do my best to answer. I'm not an expert, okay? I just have been living in Cambodia since June 2015. So near enough getting close to 9 years. In Asia, just to verify, because some people get confused, I've been based in Asia for since October, November 1993. Not because I chose to, it was just because the work was here. and it seemed a great life. And being a DJ in the 1990s in Asia was a fantastic time. And there's lots of opportunities in lots of places like the Philippines, like Thailand, like Vietnam, like Indonesia. But places like Japan and Korea, Singapore are like really expensive. It's going to be possibly more expensive than you live, let's say, in, I don't know, think of a town, Chicago in the United States of America. And what I suggested before, and I suggest again, come here, first of all, come here on a normal tourist visa if you're retired. Take 3 months of your time, go to all these different places and explore, not as a tourist, as a feasibility study. Go and ask people, go and find out where the expat bar is to have a chat, meet some expats. They'll be delighted to tell you their story over a beer or two. Then you can find out what it's truly like. Not as, again, there's a very big difference between living in a country and visiting a country. And here, living in Asia is very different, but you have all the luxuries of all the lifestyle which people would save thousands of dollars to go to. You're not going to live in a 5-star hotel. People are not going to be like your, I want to say the word slave, but I can't find it, but I hope you understand what I mean. Yeah, people don't think of you as a color, so don't even worry about that. People just think of you as a person, and that's what I like about Siem Reap. People don't stare at you. They understand that you possibly don't speak any Khmer, which is the language of Cambodian, and they're happy to have you in their country as a local or a native. And all the red tape related to visas, immigration is actually quite simplified. And again, just go to an agent, they'll do it for you. They will charge a fee, but hey, you just hand over your passport. You've got to go to one that you trust. For example, I have one I go to year after year. I bought my ticket to United Kingdom with them, with using electronic payments, etc., etc. The list goes on, and this is me, just rambling on, but I hope you found it useful, and I hope you enjoyed some of the clips that I put around this. I will wish you a very happy day. God bless to all. Bye-bye for now. Thank you. Thumbs up.